welcome to today's stream. I'll say like that because I can. We are driving around Shanghai circuit today. Yes, that's right, here in China, the lovely place of China. We have got a grid of cars, as you can see, 22 laps of racing in front of us. If I just find the notes, we will get going. Notes. Right, so on pole we have Gab, and then we have Seb, and then we have Levy. Other than that, it's no different to the order they're in now. We have got 2 extra cars, and there they go. Let's have a look at Levy, who is driving P3 today, as we start the going around, otherwise known as the formation lap. Away we go, and fine and dandy. Welcome. It is a lovely clear sky day today, and there is no forecast of rain. Light sprinkle of dust here and there when drivers go off, like Gabby did just there, or Levy right there. Let's have a look at the back. We see Kimmy in the APS behind us. We are missing a driver. Who are we missing? Well, we're missing someone. No, we're not. They're in front of us. Okay. So, as you can see, we have Mech, Gab, Seb, and Levy. And behind them, we have Kimmy. So, the race positions have broken, unfortunately. I don't know why that is unfortunate. So we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. That being pure luck. Deciding if we see a battle or not. There we go, the leaderboard has just updated. We can now see. Well, that's lovely. And here are the cars lining up. So we will just go to this camera. We see the drivers lining up.
I'm here, by the way.
Well, we see 1 light, we see 2 lights, we see 3 lights. There are 4 lights, and that is the 5th red light. They go green and it's away we go for the Chinese Grand Prix. Great start from all of the drivers, not the fastest looking, but here we go. And there's already been a crash. That is Seb into the back of Gab at turn 1. Red flag? Why is there a red flag called out? Well, red flag. We'll have to do this all again. Let's just run through and get the perspectives working. Right, well, we will see them going off again as we go for the formation lap. 5 seconds till it starts. 4, 3, 2, 1. And away we go for the formation lap here in Shanghai. A bit of weaving from Kimmy, right on board with Levy. Boom. So, through turn 1, it is a closing right-hander. Through turn 2, it is an opening left-hander. Then we have the chicane of 3 and 4. There we go, 3 and 4. You can cut that very tightly. And then we have turn 5, which is a normal right-hander. And then the 2 90-degree lefts of 6 and 7. Through we go. Seb weaving to get tyres in, to get warmth in his tyres. through turn 8 and turn 9. Tricky set of corners there. Turn 9 opens up into what some might call turn 10, but I like to think it's turn 9 because it's still turning right. Just a lot wider after the initial turn in. Everyone weaving now. Let's have a look at Mech behind as we see the drivers in front doing a bit of tomfoolery. And we get ready. Turn 10. Turn 11. Depends on what you want to call it. Here's a hairpin, followed by turn 11 or 12 back there. And then turn 12 or 13 right here. The pit goers go straight on. Just Trinot and Lewis Hamilton 2007 it into that little gravel trap there. It has happened once already. And we see Mech and Kimi driving into the pits. Well, green flag shows, and now we are going to start the race. One light again. There's the 2 lights. That is 3 lights. There we see 4. 5 red lights are on. They go green, and it's away we go for the Chinese Grand Prix. Bad getaway from Gab there. They all seem pretty even. Riding on board with Levy. We see the drivers making their way through turn 1. Bit bouncy on board Levy's car. As you hear the drivers from the pits getting away. And a lot of dirt being picked up, and they've all gone wide other than Gab. No, Gab also goes wide. That's not what you want to do, loses you a lot of time. A little bit of a lock up from Seb as he dips a wheel on the grass again, goes wide at turn 6, and Levy has a massive moment, manages to pick his car back up, but not before going off the track at turn 7 into turn 8 now. Massive braking zone into a massive corner. Battle for first really heating up. The drivers all spacing out evenly. A 2-second gap, then a 4-second gap, then a 6-second gap, then a 3-second gap. But not much that we can do from here. The drivers are doing their very best. Let's ride on board with Seb, the Pocomo Racing driver, as he tries to catch up to Gab. Of course, you've got the debate of, do you push on your tyres or do you stay with healthy tyres? That is the massive discussion. You can push or you can not have the attrition, or you can just be slow. But that is not the issue that we are facing right now, because we've just started the race. This is lap 2 of 22. Very wide there goes Seb through turn 2 as Gab goes off once more. This gap just keeps fluctuating. 2 seconds, 3 seconds as Mech goes off once more, and again. The third time, wow, the triplets of going off, getting there from Mech. Massive lock up from Gab brings a smoke screen onto our car, but the gap down to 2 seconds. Let's have a look at Kimi as he makes for an overtake on Levy. What can Kimi do? 2 seconds behind Levy. Or 1 second actually. Is he gonna make the overtake or not? As we see that massive gap between turn 1, P1 and P2. Levy goes wide, Kimi also goes wide. They both missed the apex. No drivers behind them to feast on that. Into turn 12, Levy goes wide, Kimi goes wide. But Kimi brings a tighter line. Faster exit. He's got slipstream. He might have DRS. Doesn't use DRS at least. And he is now on the tail of his friend. Down the inside, his friend gives him a bit of space. There is his friend as we ride on board with Levy. And we can see Oh, Kimi getting a lot of oversteer on the exit of turn 2 as Kimi cuts a little bit of the corner and goes wide. That's not what you want to do, bouncing over the dirt as he gets back on the track. And that is that position secured for Kimi. Kimi is now going to try his hardest to catch up to the drivers in front. As you can see, P2 just a few corners away, trying his best to catch up. There's the 3-second gap, and the gap is closing. Oh, it's actually gaining a bit. Levy goes off once more. And, well, massive battles are happening. There is Levy, and there is the gap in front. Let's have a look at the current leader. This is Gab. But unhappy because the team putting the livery on accidentally puts metallic on this livery. Not what he wanted, but it's what he's got. He's unhappy because it means his gradients are a little bit darker, which is not what he wanted, but it will be fixed next weekend. But nothing we can do about it now. Meg spends a whole second on there. That is not what you want to do on lap 4. Well, it's lap 3 because we did one lap on the formation lap, but there we go. Formation lap. Well, the gap is 5 seconds between Gab and Seb. P1 and P2 down to 4 seconds now. It's about 4 or 5 seconds. Getting up to 6 seconds. I think Mek's had an issue. Not Mek, Seb. I think Seb has had a moment. Although he just seems to be past the track where he's good and past the track where he's not so good. But that gap is definitely growing from the nothing it was on the start-finish line. Let's have a look at Levy. Levy in the APS. He's down to 4th. He was 3rd. Kimi has overtaken him. Kimi, his teammate and his friend. Not the best situation that you want to be in if you are Levy, but well, I'm sure he'll make it back. Of course, they do have one pit stop that they have to do, and well, if they don't do that pit stop, but they won't be pitting yet, then they will be in a little bit of trouble. Let's have a look at P3, which is Kimi, as Kimi seems to be slightly catching the driver in front, that driver being Seb. You can see him now, just before he went off screen behind the barrier, you can see him again in front. And that gap is closing now. 4 seconds. 4 seconds and closing. As he pockets himself around the corners. Boom. Turn 7. Shooting down to the next corner. We brake at about 75 meters to the corner and turn in roughly in line with the apex. Red apex gets you a good line for this corner. We see the gap still 4 seconds, but that gap between P1 and P2 is now 10 seconds. Seb's having an issue, and Gab, he's flying away. He's got this in the bag. It's a Sunday drive for Gab. Gab, he's got his feet up. Here's where he was on a sofa. But he's not. He is in the seat of his car, and so he has his feet on his pedals. Apologies, the sound of the turbo is lovely, but you know what sounds even better? The crowd when we get an overtake. An overtake is what we'll get pretty soon. The gap now 3 seconds between these two drivers being Seb and Kimi. Let's have a look at Seb. This is his onboard. Back cam we have Seb cutting the corner very slightly. That is turn 3 that he cut. Goes off track a little bit more, and Kimi is off track again as well. That's going to bring his time down, his gap up and that is going to allow Seb to get away slightly. That gap now back up to 5 seconds now. It's down to 3 again, but it just shows how much things can change, how quickly things can change and do change in this race. Let's have a look at Levy, because he started P3, got overtaken by his friend and teammate Kimi, and now he's P5, no, P4, and he's just losing time. He is 10 seconds behind his teammate now, and it's only lap 6, lap 5, but that is just the way that he has been dealt. His hand was not the best, apparently, or could he be bluffing? You never know. We will find out later in the race as Kimi enters the pits. I think Gab's also in the pits. No, Gab is not in the pits. No, he is not. The gap now between Gab and Seb, 7 seconds. Let's ride on board with that driver, which that driver is Seb, of course. Through we go, and you can see the name tag driving past 2 corners and half a straight in front. Kimi leaves the pits in the last 7 seconds behind Mech, but he's going to have fresh tyres, fresh fuel. The fuel will hold him back, but the tyres will let him shoot off. I expect him to get past very soon. I expect other drivers to also enter the pits. The old overcut, the old undercut frenzy. One driver pits, the others go, that might be a good idea to pit as well, so I don't lose out enough time. Although the overcut, if you don't pit and you have your stop after someone else, could also be effective. Round here, I do often forget which one is more effective. Braking at 100, turning at about 10, and a little bit of a wobble, uneasy on the throttle. Gab not in the pits, and we don't either. Through we go, off track, but no inspections on that final corner. The gap now 11 seconds, 10 seconds it's just updated, but Gab seemingly not having a good exit through that final corner. The gap's just gone 6 seconds down to 5.5 seconds. It is back up to 7 seconds now as Levy enters the pits. Seb seemingly uneasy with these few corners. He's making up ground for losing it as well with Gab. They seem pretty equal on pace currently, both equally unsure of where their limits are, equally making a few mistakes. Levy is now behind his teammate again as he leaves the pit lane, but that is what you expect. What is the gap going to be? The gap is 12 seconds. You know, I think that he has gained the overcut is what you want to do. But is it what everyone wants to do? Well, seemingly it is, because they've predicted that they don't need to pit yet. And well, we will only know what the correct option was when they do their pit stop and come out either in front or behind Kimi. Another lap not in the pits. Let's have a look at Mech as Mech has done his pit stop. Trying to find his pop up. There we go. 15 minutes of the race done already. 9 laps out of 22. We have a few more laps. There's a safety car. There is a safety car. Someone's off. Gab's off. What's happened to Gab? Oh no, let's have a look at this. Ooh, I think I know what's happened. I think I know what has happened here. Obviously, Gab's been a bit too ballsy, shall we say, with his manoeuvres, and he has just, as Mech is right there, gone straight on, hit the barrier, and debris field everywhere. Kimi passes, and goes up back into P3, but that is unfortunately Gab out of the race as Levy passes him as well. Well, that's unfortunate for the Overpower Grand Prix driver as we pop the card up. His car spinning around in circles and he is out. Well, now we have a little bit of a safety car. We'll have a look. And the safety car is waiting in the pit lane. Because as we have a look back there, you see P1, which is Seb. And P1 is in the pits, having a pit stop. But there we see P1 and P2 rounding the final corner, the penultimate corner, the final hairpin. They're not going to make it out in time. Or will they? 7 seconds, quite a lot. Seb obviously having a bit of an issue. Maybe he had it coming together. Riding on board with Seb now. He comes out in P1. Did the other two enter the pit lane? Yeah. Beck and Kimi both in the pits. Well, here's the safety car with the leader right there. Well, what a ton of events. Lap 10 and we've got a safety car. That's almost half the race we went without a safety car. That's impressive for these drivers. Although there was only 5 of them. So yeah, I'll take that with a grain of salt. Kimi Levy in the pit lane. Kimi and Meg out of the pit lane. They will catch up now. Riding on board with Meg, the current driver. He is behind Kimi. Kimi overtaking him in the pit lane. A faster pit stop. And now catching up to the safety car pack. Still out of the race. Sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. His hand's obviously worse than Levy's today. Or he misplayed. Let's have a look at Levy. Is quite far behind. Is he gonna catch up in time? He does have one more lap before they go. The safety car comes in, I expect. But close to the safety car back, so I'm not exactly sure. If one more driver leaves, then we only have 3 drivers left, and all they have to do is survive to get a podium. Let's stay off track. Braking at 100, turning at 10. Kimi being told to back off a bit from Seb, maintaining a safe distance. Kimi retaliating with some colourful language. Well, as you see, the safety car pack is going through turn 2. We will see the record gap as we pass on. Oh, yes, there we go, right there. Yeah. It's clear what's happened now as we see it from track level. Just took too much speed and couldn't turn it, hit the barrier, flipped, and is that as we catch up to the back of the safety car pack. Gab being took to pit and confirmed out of the race now, but we knew that before. So on board with Levy as we await safety car in this lap. So at the halfway point there goes the safety car. It's very early, the safety car's gone. almost like half the lap. Oh well, through we go. Kimi being told to give some breathing room. We will go on board with Mech as we start the... No, that's the wrong thing. There we go. As we go through. Oh, is there a collision? There is the green flag. But both Kimi very off track. Almost flies into the back of Seb. Now, the drivers have been told to keep away from each other. Keep at a steady speed so that they don't crash into each other during the safety car restarts. Now we just wait for Seb to go. There we go, we're off. And we're taking it until the start-finish line. As I say that, Levy's overtaken. Levy can't do that, gives the position back. Silly Levy. Stewards might have a look into that. They might not. Let's have a look at the battle for P1. Kimi and Seb, through we go. The APS driver versus the Pocomo driver, who is going to come out on top. And through the corners, they both look very steady. Both drivers spending a little bit of time cutting the corner there. Through turn 5 we go. Turn 6, pretty even. Seb missing the corner, Kimi not missing the apex. Oh, bit of a snap oversteer, but he catches it and makes it clean through turn 7, braking for turn 8. Very early apexes for both of them. A little bit of a lock-up for Seb. Seb goes off track. Makes it back, clambering over the curbs. Down the massive straight we go. No DRS for these cars. Actually, no, there is DRS for these cars, but not this lap, because it is the first lap back under the safety car. 10 laps left of the race. And, well, we'll see what other stuff ends up happening. 1 driver out, 4 drivers left to battle. 1 second behind. Misses the bollard just about. If you hit that bollard, that's your day over. That's your wrists off. You're not going to have your hands again for a few days if you hit there. Kimi asking for DRS to be reopened now. A little bit of a lock up from Seb as Seb goes wide. Late apex again. Misses the second apex. Very wide, very slippy rear for Kimi. Through we go. Cuts a little bit. Riding on board with Seb facing backwards. Seb, of course, not facing backwards, but the rear-facing camera. Through turn 6 we go. Turn 7. The similar story, misses the apex. Both drivers going wide. Down we go till turn 8. Who's going to brake later? They both brake about the same. The gap staying about the same. 0.3 of a second as we go through turn 9. The gap opening up though, as we make our way through turn 9, 5 tenths, 3 tenths, 5 tenths, 6. Car 56, that is Kimi, warned of track limits. As we go through DRS, he will have DRS, Kimi, not Seb. And he's just losing time, even though that is where he should have the DRS open. Flap, as you saw, closed right there. Massive lock up from Seb as we go through turn 10. And we're riding on board with Kimi again. What is going to happen? A bit of a lock-up from Seb. Drivers going over the curves on the exit of the final corner. Over we go to start lap 14. Technically 13 if we don't, if we count the formation lap. Mech. Bit of time off track. Massive lock-up from Seb. Both front tyres locking up individually. A bit of a slippy rear. Oh, Kimi not getting his car rotated as much as he wanted. Seb missing the apexes. Whoa, off track goes Kimi. Off-roading goes Seb. So they both go into the dirt. Both make it on the track still. Off track goes Seb, off track goes Kimi. Very far off track goes Seb. Pretty far off track goes Kimi. Mech getting another part off track. Massive lockup from Seb that time, and I think a bit of a rear lockup for Kimi as we go through turn 9 again. Down onto the massive straight, 4 seconds, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, getting the slipstream, gonna get the DRS. Car number 9, Seb getting warned as well. There you see the orange lights, the flappers open, and away we go. Doesn't get the overtake performed, but is he going to have him on the exit? No, he's not. Exit of turn 10 was both drivers messing up. Who's going to hit the bollard? None of them hit the bollard. Lots of tyre streaks coming off of the back of Seb's car. Kimi following those tyre streaks off track as we go into lap 15, 27 minutes into the race. With that safety car, we only have 8 laps left. Whoa, through we go, and that's a almost spin. I don't know how we can manage to catch that. Gab is asking for a gravity check for Kimi. Now that's a little thing that drivers can do. You're not allowed to do, but you can change your game settings to have higher gravity, and apparently that's changing how he's driving because he's not catching the DRS. Through we go, massive moment for Seb there, and through goes Kimi going on board with Seb as we see the back. He's going to have DRS now as we go through slipstream. Brum we go, flap not open. Through goes Kimi, through goes Seb anyway. On board with Kimi into turn 10. Massive lockup from both drivers, rear lockup for Seb. They both keep it on the road. Seb not quite on the exit, just as I say that, he goes off. But back on track, still in front. Is he going to go through the barrier? He doesn't. He massively misses the apex and he goes off on the final corner. Through we go to start lap 16. There's going to be a penalty for Seb because he's gone off so many times. It's going to be interesting to see if Wesley does check the gravity, because if you check the gravity, that's cheating, and that will be disqualification. It'll be interesting to see if he does check or not. Through we go, cutting the corner is Kimi. Both drivers darting, off-roading, side by side as we enter turn 6. Going for the old switcheroo is Kimi into turn 7. Seb leaves space. Through we go. Kimi, no, Seb fighting back. On board with Seb now into turn 8. Is he going to try and switch back as well? Doesn't get it done. Into turn 9. He's going to have slipstream all the way down. Oh, we've got to wait for the dirty air to turn into slipstream. Right about there. That's useful now. Through we go. Catching, 5 tenths, opens the DRS, and you see how much he's gaining now. Through we go, very easily done, and Kimi had no response to that. Round we go, massive lockup from Seb, and he misses the apex and misses the exit. Still in front though, but he has lost a lot of ground. Both drivers missing the apex. Seb off again, but again, no track limits for the final corner, we have been told. Through though, lap 17. This battle for first has been going on since the safety car restart. This is impressive for these two drivers right here, Seb and Kimi. Kimi, of course, changing his name. Oh, down the inside, almost makes it, goes Kimi. Levy enters the pits one more time. Seb though, what is he going to do? Down the inside, tries a look for Kimi, sniffing out the rear end of Seb. Seb goes off at turn 6 and through the inside very easily. There was no door there. The door, just wide empty, and Kimi just took it and will ride on board with the following car, which is now Seb, but he will have DRS and slipstream in this straight now. Out of turn 9 we go. look at that catching. Now 0.5 of a second. Down we go. DRS open. Look how much speed he gains. It's just a massive gain of speed. Back on board with Kimi now, braking at 100, turning at 10, and Seb very wide. Kimi having a shallower exit. Both drivers about an equal exit speed. Missing the apex goes Seb. Kimi hitting the apex, and both drivers still on the racetrack going to start lap 18. Through turn 1, you can hear that engine spooling down as we slow down for the tightening section, and now the opening section, the unwinding, and there's been a collision. Seb's been hit by Kimi. Seb spinning his car around. That is not what you wanted to happen. Does he have damage? He seems uneasy. Yes, he does. He's got a lot of suspension damage by the looks of that moment right there. He's going to have to go back to the pits. Apologies for the explicit scene on the chat. And, well, Kimi not driving well. He says desync. Well, that will be something for the stewards to look for. And, well, you can see the leader following away. Drivers being told to keep the chat quiet as we go for another lap. Through we go. He hits the barrier. That is a little bit of desync though. Whew. But you can see just how much damage that has given the car, even though that is visual. He is not if he did that on his screen, he wouldn't be driving right now. That is a lot of damage. You can see that it's lifted that wheel up. Why is he not pit if he has lost his... Okay, doesn't make sense. We will fix that very quickly and go back. Well, let's just have a quick look at Seb as he has Lewis Hamiltoned it. Seb has done the infamous accident and he is now out of the race. Seb, the Pocomo driver, is the second retirement in the race. Apologies about the background noise if you can hear it. That is a very loud plane. I'm not sure what plane that is. Doesn't really matter, but that was quite loud. Let's have a look at Mech, as Mech is also off. That's a lot of damage. Oh, what's happened to Mech? Yeah, that car is not healthy. He is having a lot of issues with speed. Apologies about that noise I just made. Oh, what was that? Oh, interesting. 7%. Anyway, he's having a lot of issues with his car. If he can make it back to the pits, he'll be fine and dandy. But I think he's just binned his chances. The moment we get 3 drivers, we seem like we'll go down to 2. Well, let's have a look at Levy real quick and come back if he is still off track rather, in a few moments. No, he isn't. He's back on track. I think he is going to go into the pits for sure. If that's not a safety car, I'll be damned. He's in the barrier now, so yeah, that will be a safety car. He cannot get out of that. Riding with the drone. You see Kimi passing him. Yeah, he is going to be stuck. In reverse, nothing's working. The barriers, they've gripped him. That's a safety car once more. Well, through goes the safety car. Drives over front wing. Let me just remove that real quick. We are now waiting for Kimi to come around the final corner one more time. And through we go, lap 21. We've got 2 more laps left of the race. And, well, it seems like they're both going to be behind the safety car. The 2 drivers to the left in the race, 2 Dutch people. And they are both friends in real life. And, it's not on Didn't Disturb. Both drivers have survived somehow. One driver starting from the pit lane, and the second driver starting from P3. The driver starting from pit lane, ironically, is going to win the race. While the driver starting from P3, at least he'll finish P2, I guess. Although it will still be behind the driver that started behind of him. As we pass the wreckage of Mechanic. He will be able to restart pretty soon. Now, depending on how quickly Kimi is after the race, will depend on if he is because if he leaves the server as soon as the race ends, well, there's something that he doesn't want us finding out. But he could also just change the gravity settings back if he did change his gravity settings. Of course, this is all alleged accusations. We have no information to back the accusations up, which is why they're just accusations. Anything to any of that. And, well, Meg still stuck in the barrier as Levy, as you see, is catching up. We'll ride on board with Levy then. Where is it? There we go. As we enter the final lap, which will still be behind the safety car. Oh no, the safety car's hit the barrier, and that has destroyed Kimi's car. That was not what you wanted to see. He wrapped himself around the bollard, spun around it like a pole, and it took out Kimi's front wing along with it. Well, almost took out Levy as well. We go down to virtual safety car speeds, and that is just about the best way that this race could have ended. Now, we'll wait and see what they decide to do. I think that Wesley isn't going to follow real life rules for this. Oh no, in real life if this happened it would be a red flag. But what I mean is that Wesley might be, but he doesn't seem like it, so we're going to stay virtual safety car for the rest of the lap. So, we know the gaps now. Oh, virtual safety car is ending. We'll wait for the green flag soon, so we'll just pop the green flag on. No, we'll pop this virtual safety car stuff back on. We'll wait for the green flag, and away we go. Brum brum. And we have one more lap of racing. Through turn 8 we go. Massive dive bomb goes Levy. Kimi though, a little bit of damage as you can see, and he's struggling to turn right. That's going to be an issue for the next corner, turn 10, which is a slow right-hander. And of course, if he's having this much issues turning right here, he is going to have a lot more issues turning right down there. Goes off track. Although it's not surprising. Apologies for the explicit said in the chat there as well. Through we go. Last lap is called. Let's have a look at Levy as he is a Time Lord, apparently. Checkered flag. He just turned the final corner, and then he's already at turn 1. Oh well. Through we go. That's the past 3 streams that I've missed it. How do I keep doing this? Anyway, through we go. And that is the race as Gab takes out Kimmy on the final corner. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Apologies about the final few seconds of my voice. Here we have the winner as we show you guys why we don't use the off-board cameras. We'll be back next week with another race. It's going to be multiple laps as always. Next week it will be around the quite nice circuit of... Well, no, it's not going to be next week. It's going to be Belgium after like 2 weeks' time. Spa. Lovely circuit. Going up Eau Rouge. That's not how you pronounce it, but it sounded cool anyway, I think. Anyway, catch you in 2 weeks' time for Formula 3 at Eau Rouge.